5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 494 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Fade the Public Friday. That's right, it's Friday, TGI Friday. The weekend is upon us here, guys. But we got a lot to get to before we steam off into the weekend, because we're going to get right back to betting Major League Baseball. A little touch and go, good days, bad days. Couldn't really get a good sustained winning streak going for much of the early part of the year. But this week, hopefully knock on wood, we're really hitting our stride, guys, because we'll get to recap of last night in a second. Produce another winning day, which was great to see. But we're going to get right back at it today. MLB, a 3-pack of plays. I got 3 money line bets for you guys. I'm going to see if we can try to go 2-1, eke out a winning day. Of course, want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Rhythm Rundown last night. You hear me talk about all the time. Hopefully, those of you listening out there have maybe tuned into 1 or 2, or you got some free time. You're waiting for the games to start. You get right into Twitter. You can listen to me and my buddy Kate Harper walk through all the games on Rhythm. And we were looking at the games last night. It was kind of rough because Thursday nights when football's going on, the Rhythm Rundown's easy. We got the Thursday night football game. We got maybe college to talk about, a lot to bite and chew on. But last night, there were only like 2 games in MLB, and we're like, okay, what are we going to talk about? And I was looking at the Padres game because obviously they're just, magical right now, finding ways to win in electric fashion, comeback fashion. But I didn't love them for a podcast play because the line did move a little bit towards Seattle last night. That was like a very short Seattle -110 up to like -120. And then the more I looked at it, and we talked about it on the Rhythm Rundown, I keep seeing all these Rhythm Green Star recommendations on San Diego. So I'm like, okay, Seattle's got the line move, but San Diego, there's something triggering here with the Rhythm AI model telling us to buy low and take San Diego around a +105, +100 home dog. Better offense, good at home, inflated dog. I wouldn't call that a sharp play, but it was a bit of a value play. And wouldn't you know it, we highlighted on the Rhythm Rundown last night, Padres did it again. Even though the line moved against them, the Rhythm AI model came through. Pods won 5-2. The Rhythm model also liked the under in the Colorado-Houston game. That was an extremely popular over. Like 90% of bets went Colorado-Houston over last night. The game stayed under 3-2. So that was another Rhythm Rundown hit. So as always, if you're looking for more bets or you're looking for more analysis or insight into how to use Rhythm to your advantage, remember, every Thursday night, Cade and I break down the board. And you can tune in every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, streamed live on Twitter. Now, because it's a Friday, I want to mention, as always, no podcast on the weekends. Every now and again, I'll get people saying, "Oh, where's your pod today?" I'm like, "Oh, my wife would divorce me, especially now that we have a baby. It's it's taking the baby on a stroller walk. It's going to Home Depot. Actually, I'm very proud because we're getting a shed. You know what gets you excited when you're almost 40 years old and you're a new dad? Getting a Reed's Ferry shed. If you're in New England, Reed's Ferry is like people know what that means. If you're out of New England, you have no clue what that means. But we took our baby on one of our first trips outdoors into the world to Reed's Ferry Shed to pick out a shed. So that's me, excited to sweat baseball and get a shed, a dream come true in my backyard. But anyway, that's a whole long-winded answer of me saying no pot on the weekends, but you still can get the ASG Best Bet Picks from the Juice Reel app. They'll always be there posted, and you can support the team by getting those picks for $4.99 a week. Or you can read the sharp reports that are at forvison.com. I still rate those on the weekend, so I always want to mention that. Before we dive in our sweats for tonight, guys, we did it again. Don't let the boys get hot. 4th straight winning day. Went 2-1 plus 0.63 units. Had a tough start to the day because the Cincinnati Reds just could do absolutely nothing against Roop in San Francisco. And the Reds at one point were getting no hit. And then the Reds also, the game was still 0-0. I think it was like maybe the 6th inning. They had first and second, nobody out. Couldn't advance the runners, couldn't score. I think it was De La Cruz grounded in double play. In the very next inning, after De La Cruz booted one, and there was a pop-up. These are the things you always remember when you lose a bet. There's a pop-up on the left side where the catcher ran super fast to try to get it. But Ke'Bryan Hayes, who's, no bat, but especially in the field, he's supposed to be pretty good. He lollygagged. I noticed he didn't even run to try to get it. They don't catch the foul pop-up. De La Cruz boots it. 3-0 loss with Cincinnati. So I'm like, okay, here we go. But luckily, beauty of a 3-pack, even if you lose the first one, if you can get the next 2, you can still have a winning night. That's exactly what we did because Tampa Bay had an epic comeback for us, guys. It was not an easy one. Tampa Bay, it was a tied game. They kept clawing back. 8th inning, they gave up a home run to Vargas, big first baseman. He was a top prospect from the Dodgers. They get down 3-2 going into the 9th. I'm like, okay, this ain't good. Junior Caminero, massive solo homer to tie the game up. And then the White Sox, they started to be the White Sox. They kept walking guys. There were 2 bases loaded walks. Tampa came in and shut the door and won 5-3. So nice hit there with the Rays. But the one that was a nail biter, and it really shouldn't have been, was the Guardians. Guardians came through with a 4-2 win against Baltimore. But that was not an easy sweat, guys. It looked easy at one point because we were talking about this kid, and I remember on the pod mentioning this Messick lefty, who I'd never heard of, but I did some research. He was a 2nd-round pick. He had some great stats in the minors. He pitched an absolute gem, and he actually had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning. They're up 4-0, and it's like, okay, let him have the no-no. He was at like 105 pitches maybe, which you actually don't see a lot of pitchers go above 100 anymore. But they leave him in. He gives up 2 straight hits, and then the Orioles just get hit after hit after hit, and they actually threatened to tie the game or even take the lead, but there was an epic play by the second baseman there to dive, make a play, and end the game. So thank God the Guardians hung on for a 4-2 win. So overall, with Reds letting us down, but Cleveland and Tampa Bay coming through, a 2-1 night, 0.63 units. We will take it. And as always, guys, again, the challenge is when you won 4 straight winning days, let's try to get a 5th day. 4 straight losing days, challenges to get back in the green. I always like it when the challenge is to try to stay hot because you know you won't stay hot forever, but you try to make it last as long as you can. So that being said, 3-pack overall, let's waste no more time and dive into our sweats here for tonight. So first put on the board that I want to hit on is an 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time first pitch interleague matchup here between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Houston Astros. Let's set the stage, talk splits, line moves, rhythm, juice reel, and I'll give you my play for this one. So Cards come in 10-8 on the year. Bit of a surprise because they had one of the lowest win totals and expected to have a down year. But did take 2 of 3 against the Guardians. They won that series finale 5-3 as a -110 home pick'em. Meanwhile, the Astros 8-12 struggled a bit so far. They did just take 2 of 3 though against the Rockies, but couldn't get the sweep. Lost 3-2 as we just mentioned last night as a -175 home favorite. So pitching matchup here for tonight. We have the Cardinals going with the righty Kyle Leahy. He's 1-2 with a 5.14 ERA. Meanwhile, the Stros are going to go with the righty Peter Lambert. Lambert, I was looking at him earlier, doing some research. He was a 2nd-round pick back in the day. He was supposed to be pretty good. Went to Colorado, kiss of death. He didn't pitch at all in the majors last year. Back in 2024 with Colorado, he was 2-5 with a 5.72 ERA. But in the minors this year, before getting called up, he had a 1.84 ERA. So, spoiler here, I'm hoping he pitches well tonight because I'm going Stros. Why am I going Astros? Well, a little bit of line movement in their favor. Houston opened around a -135 home favorite. St. Louis around a +115 road dog. And Sharps have quietly, just very subtly, pushed that line a little bit further toward Houston because we've seen the Stros go up from -135 up to -140. Some shops even touching as high as -145. I really like the split at circa. In particular, the wise guys in Vegas look to be pretty heavy on Houston here because the Astros at circa are only getting 33% of moneyline bets, but 89% of moneyline dollars. So a big low bets, higher dollar discrepancy from the sharps in Vegas on Houston. Again, I mention this because it's always just something interesting for me to monitor. Did the run lines also come through? Or did the team only win by 1? Well, I'm on Houston, by the way, -138 at FanDuel, but I did notice a lot of run line support for the Astros. They're -1.5 at +155. Pretty big payout here to win by 2 or more, but they're only getting 42% of spread bets, but 86% of spread dollars at DK. Now, a couple system matches on Houston. One would be that interleague favorite, so lack of familiarity, benefiting quote-unquote the better team. But if you look at home favorites off a loss in the opening game of a new series, Astros would match here because they lost yesterday. They're 18-9, 67%, 10% ROI this year. If you're an interleague home favorite who missed the playoffs the previous season, playing an opponent who also missed the playoffs the previous season. That system is 112-70, 62%, with a 3% ROI since the start of last year. Now, hopefully Lambert pitches well. Obviously, he's a bit of a wild card because he didn't pitch in the bigs last year. But I'm going to bank on Houston's bats, hopefully, to get to Leahy. Houston is hitting 264 as a team. They've scored 107 runs. St. Louis is only hitting 231 as a team, only scored 80 runs. And in particular, we got 2 righties on the bump. Astros have hit better against righties. They're hitting 265 against righties. That's the 5th best in baseball. Cardinals are only hitting 221 against righties. That ranks 26th. So we got a little bit of line movement toward Houston. We got a really good bet split at Circa. We got a couple good system matches, better offense. And then also, I have 3 rhythm recommendations all lighting up on Houston. And I also have a 67%, this is a big one, 67% sharp mush edge from our friends at Juice Reel, also on the Astros. So add it all up here, guys. Astros are mostly around minus 140 in the market. Shop around, FanDuel offered minus 138. So I took the Stros, hopefully to get a winner here at home, minus 138 at FanDuel. Next one for you, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time, first pitch. A couple late games that I'll be sitting in the back room, in the baby's room with my daughter as my wife gets some much-needed sleep. That's what I look forward to nowadays. But I'm looking at the White Sox visiting the Athletics. So, White Sox come in 6-13 on the year. Just got swept by the Rays. They lost that series finale, as you just mentioned, which was a good thing because we were around the Rays, but they lost 5-3 as a plus 110 home dog. Meanwhile, the A's, 10-9 on the year. They just split a 4-game set against the Rangers. Dropped that series finale, however, 9-6 as a minus 110 home pick'em. So, for tonight's series opener, White Sox are going with the righty Davis Martin. He's 2-1 with a 2.50 ERA. A's, meanwhile, going with the veteran righty Aaron Savali, who's 2-0 with a 1.72 ERA. He's been pretty good to start the season. Now, what do we see across the market? Well, this game opened with the A's listed around a minus 145 home favorite. White Sox around a plus 125 road dog. And even though it's a moderately, quasi-moderate expensive number, close to minus 150, sharps are laying it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going Athletics here, guys. We've seen the A's get steamed up minus 145 up to minus 160. So 15-cent steam move in their favor. You look over at Circa in Vegas, over 90% of moneyline bets and dollars on the A's. So it tells us that the wise guys in the desert are heavy on the A's tonight. A lot of A's run line money as well, minus 1.5 at plus 120, because at DraftKings they're getting 71% of spread bets, 79% of spread dollars. A's would have betting system value as a non-division favorite, so lack of familiarity benefiting, quote-unquote, the better team who's expected to win. A's would match that system we just talked about, home favorite off a loss in the opening game of a new series, 18-9, 67%, 10% ROI this year. A's, once again, edge at the plate. Hopefully their bats come to play. Let's see if my guy Langoliers can drop another bomb. But the A's are hitting 234 as a team, 78 runs scored, 310 on base percentage. White Sox hitting only a $195, 60 runs scored, 286 OBP. A's 4-3 at home. I say home in quotation marks because it's Sacramento for this year and I think one more year before they go to Vegas. But the White Sox just 3-7 on the road. Last year they were one of the worst road teams, along with the Rockies. Also, maybe a little bit of a schedule advantage for the A's. Both teams played yesterday, but the A's are continuing a homestand. They played at home, still at home here today, whereas the White Sox were at home against the Rays and now got to travel, not totally cross country, but Midwest to the far west. So hopefully that's a bit of an advantage. So add it all up here, guys. Going with the A's, seeing if they can get a winner for us. Now here's the thing. Best money line price I saw with the A's was minus 155, but always keep an eye out for the odds boosts and the bet tokens. Just again, if they're going to offer it to you, think of it as, like me in Massachusetts. I have like 7 sports books, and I was actually reading how Bet365 just applied for a license in Massachusetts, so I'll add them when they come over my way. But when you're going to bet a game, yeah, you're going to, bet at the book that gives you the best number, but if they're all similar numbers, what's going to entice you to bet at one book over the other? Well, they might give you an odds boost. They might give you a bet token. And I noticed a pretty good 50% odds boost at FanDuel, which dropped the A's for me down from minus 155 to minus 125. So again, you got those odds boosts. Just click the promo tab in your app, see what they're going to offer you. So I took that odds boost, and I got the A's minus 125 for the purposes of the pod. Minus 155 is your most common number. So let's go A's. Last bet of the night, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time, first pitch. The Rangers visiting the Seattle Mariners. Now, Rangers come in 10-9 on the year. Just split a 4-game set against the A's. We just mentioned that. They won that series finale yesterday, 9-6 as a minus 110 road pick'em. On the other hand, the Mariners, 8-12 on the year, just got swept by the Dads. Lost yesterday, 5-2 as a minus 125 road favorite. So, pitching matchup here for tonight. Looks like a pretty good pitching matchup because Jacob deGrom, former Met, I'm surprised he's remained this healthy since he joined Texas, but he's 1-0, 2.87 ERA this year. He'll be facing the fellow-ready Logan Gilbert, who is 1-2 with a 4.18 ERA for the Mariners. Now, what have we seen across the market? Well, this game opened Seattle around a minus 120 home favorite, Texas around a plus 100 road dog. And it's interesting to see, which direction does this line move, because Seattle has a losing record and they just got swept by the Pods. Rangers have a winning record, but yet Seattle is favored. Wouldn't you assume Texas better record, DeGrom on the bump? You should take the plus money with Texas, right? Or maybe the game should be closer to a pick'em. Well, the public doesn't know what to do because they remember Seattle having a good year last year, going deep in the postseason. But again, Texas is plus money and they got DeGrom on the bump. So if you look at the splits right now at DK, it's basically 50-50. But what do we always talk about? 50-50 ticket count. Theoretically, in a vacuum, a line should not move at all because you would assume odds makers have balanced action, so we don't have to bring the number up or down. We've set the perfect number. However, sometimes you see a 50-50 ticket split in which the line shouldn't move, but yet it does move. And that's what we're seeing here because even though it's 50-50, this line has moved up towards Seattle, guys. Seattle's gone from minus 120 up to minus 130. That tells me we got a 50-50 sharp line move on the Mariners. Now, in particular, if you want to get technical about it, at DraftKings, Mariners are getting 52% of moneyline bets, but they are getting 64% of moneyline dollars. So tickets are basically even, but nearly 2/3 of the money is on the Mariners, and that lines up with that line move toward the Mariners. Then we get into our system matches. Home favorite off a loss, opening game of a new series. Same two matches we just talked about with Houston and with the Athletics. That matches with the Mariners here, so that's 18-9, 67%, 10% ROI this year. If you take that system and then you also look at, okay, did the home favorite off a loss in the opening game of a new series also make the playoffs the previous year, which would match with Seattle? That system then improves to 12-5, 71%, 14% ROI this year. Lastly, we have a really, really low total of 6.5 because you got two good pitchers on the bump. But that 6.5 would be correlative betting value towards Seattle, with the fewer amount of expected runs scored more likely to come from, quote unquote, the better team who's expected to win. Another thing I'm going to bank on with Seattle is home road because they've been god awful on the road, 1-8, but they are 7-4 at home. So hopefully they get back home and get back on track here. Knock on wood. Let's go Gilbert, pitch well. Let's get the offense, hopefully to get to DeGrom. But then you add in two more big factors for me, guys. Number one, good sharp mush edge from our friends at Juice Reel. 20% sharp mush edge in favor of the Mariners. And then even better, this is one of the top rhythm recommended plays of the day because I have all three of my rhythm recommendations on Seattle, and two of those three recommendations are Green Star Smart Signal recommendations, where you see that little green lightning bolt. Tells you that the AI model really likes the Mariners tonight. So add it all up. Again, they just got swept by the Pods. That's okay with us because had the Pods in most of those games. But hopefully we can get the Mariners back on track in the Pacific Northwest. I got Seattle minus 130 at Fanatics. So Astros, Mariners, and the A's. See if we can get 2 out of 3 and finish off the week with 5 straight winning days. Wouldn't that be nice? So as always, guys, wrapping up the part of the pod here at the end, I always want to start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena with me every single day through the ups and the downs, the good and the bad, the hot streaks, the cold, struggling times. We just got to keep grinding. Never get too high or too low and continue to play the system matches. But if you do enjoy this pod, hopefully you value the insights, whether you ride every game I bet or you pick and choose or you just like to listen to the breakdowns. Either way, if you want to help me grow this pod, I'd very much appreciate it. Please, if you got a second or two, give this podcast a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes. Rate and review, leave a comment, click the follow button, recommend the pod to a friend, retweet the pod when I put it out on Twitter every afternoon at Josh_insights. Any or all of those things would be very much appreciated. Next, if you enjoy this style of sports betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on line moves, bet splits, system matches, AI models, taking a contrarian approach, trying to make bets with our head and not our heart based on what the numbers are saying, not what our gut bias and instinct is telling us. If this style of betting has appealed to you, you want to learn more about data-driven betting, you want to make my day by supporting the team, or maybe you have someone in your life who could use some data-driven tips, or you got someone's birthday coming up, you don't know what to get them, Father's Day is coming up soon, who knows what it is, but a great gift idea, or selfishly make me happy, go to Amazon.com and type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook or the Everything Guide to Sports Betting. Those are the 2 books that I've written. Very proud of both. They're chock full of great tips and analysis. If you want to grab one or both of them, make sure you bring them to the sports book and I'll sign them for you. I'll buy you a beer. We'll get some ginger ale. If you're not a drinker, that's okay too. And we'll get a hot dog and we'll get some nachos and sweat some baseball together tonight. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps. Rhythm for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Also Juice Reel. So many great features with Juice Reel. You can sync up your sports books, get a running report card of your action, keeps you honest. Also gives you your CLV monitor or indicator. When you bet a game leading up to first pitch, it'll tell you if the line's going in your favor or not. I always hopefully, log off the app and then an hour later log in, see, okay, is it my 1.2% CLV or is the line going against me? But also you can get the Robo Jackson best bet picks, the Sharp Mush indicators, the arbitrage plays, the shop for the best line futures. And if you really want to be a hero and make my day, go support the pod. I'll pass the hat. If you want to drop in a $5 bill, you can get the ASG best bet picks exclusively and only from Juice Reel. You'll get them as soon as I make them, hopefully beat some closing numbers. But this pod is free, and I consider that tipping your podcast hosts. So download Rhythm, download Juice Reel. Again, those plays are only $5 a week. And, of course, give them a 5-star review in the App Store. Lastly, do you have a live odds page? Well, if you don't have one, you need one. I can't stress the importance of the live odds page enough, because if you want to be a winning sports bettor, you got to be able to track the market. What are all the games I can bet today? I need live scoring, live in-game wagering odds. I got to be able to track line movement. What did the line open at? I need that static open column that never changes. That's my point of reference. And then I see all the odds currently across the market to the right of it, and I can quickly see which direction the line is moving. Also, you look for shop for the best line opportunities. Pull up the line history. You can do all of this with a Odds Logic live odds page. So if you want to give it a shot, here's a link that's going to give you a 7-day free trial and 50% off your first month of service. It's oddslogic.com/Josh123. And next, do you know anything about ProfitX? Well, if you don't, that's okay. But ProfitX is a new sports betting exchange. It's an app on your phone that I've partnered with. And I like it because it helps bettors win by giving you better juice prices. Why? Because you're going up against other bettors in an exchange, not against the house, who's going to make you pay -120, -125. So with ProfitX, you won't get booted if you win, and you'll get better juice prices, +102, -103, instead of -115, -120. So if you want to download the ProfitX app, it's PROPHET, like a biblical profit, not profit like you make money profit, but you use promo code JOSH for a 20% deposit match. So as always, guys, 2 final thoughts. 1, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, at the Encore in Boston, Plain Ridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, or the Nash in my neck of the woods on the border of Massachusetts and New Hampshire, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or sweating sharp contrarian plays, jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa, you're going to walk up to me. You're going to show me a beautiful Tampa Bay ticket, Cleveland Guardians ticket. Guess what? First one's on me, next one's on you. We'll post about the book, Sweat Sharp Contrarian Plays all night long. So as always, guys, coming off a 2-1 or a 1-2, a 3-0 or an 0-3, 4 straight winning days, 4 straight losing days. We can't get too high or too low. We just got to stick to the model, stick to the blueprint, flat betting, avoiding parlays, and playing the system matches when they present themselves, and avoiding the games with red flags. But if we can get down on the games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid those parlays, and especially those same game parlays, and get some CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So hope everyone has a great Friday night. Have an even better weekend, guys. I'll be right back at it on Monday. That'll be episode 495 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody, and I'll see you on Monday. Good luck.